Welcome everyone. Please stand for Old Canada.
Old Canada, we stand on guard for thee. May Rotary friends and Rotaries help us to serve thee in all our days.
Please be seated.
Would everybody that has a guest, please stand up and introduce your guest, please. I'll start. Peter Evans, good friend of mine, was a sergeant with the RCMP, now retired. I'm sure that he's going to be our guest speaker next week. And any of you that have read Robert's Service and the cremation of Sam McGee, this guy could top it.
Madam Acting President David, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my good friend Robert Pettigrew.
Steve has two guests.
Yes, I'm pleased to introduce Myra Lawrence, who was with CTV for many years, the face of CTV and the news, and now she's working with you, Vic, in a contract capacity. And she will be our guest speaker later in the fall. And also Michael Brar, who is with Wallace Driving School, and he's bringing expertise to us that we have not had before so that we can actually take on the national franchises and bury them. Thank you.
Jillian has two guests. There she is. Do you want
two guests today. Anna Lego, our outbound youth exchange student, who will be speaking to us further into the agenda, and her father, Jeff Lego. Can we stand up, Jeff? And her mother couldn't make it today. Work got in the way again.
Fellow Rotarians, I'm happy to introduce once more to you Nancy Carson, who is Vice President of Tembo Kenya, is here because we have our AGM later on this afternoon. I've worked with Nancy in Africa 4 times. She's been there actually 5 times for several months at a stretch. And welcome her again to Rotary.
Fellow Rotarians, I'd like to introduce you to Laura and Gordon McDougall. They contacted me through the web, and they're interested in finding out more about Rotary. Please stand up.
My name is Rod Crossley. I'm a Rotarian from Kakamega, Kenya, for 6 months of the year. And most of you have seen me.
My name is Joseph Saitoli. I'm a Rotarian in San Antonio, Texas. I only joined the Rotary Club 35 years ago, and we have in San Antonio, the Rotary Club has only about 650 members.
Did a great job recognizing who was in the room. So we're now going to pass over to James, who's actually going to introduce the speaker.
It's my pleasure to introduce Christina Sisu. Christina trained as a social worker and became a certified nutritionist, a specialized kinesiologist, and an emotional intuitive. Her personal experience and triumph over serious chronic illness prompted her to share her passion for well-being with others. In 2003, she made her first trip to Africa and has been involved in a school project in partnership with Maasai of Makuni, as well as fundraising projects for the Emmanuel Community. She is the author of Food and the Emotional Connection and the newly released How to Get Out of Your Own Way.
How many people have had going to Africa on your bucket list? Yeah. How many people have actually been to Africa? Oh my goodness, wow, lots. Okay, well, I'm not one of those people. I never had going to Africa on my bucket list. It wasn't on my radar, I never thought about it. But what I did have on my radar and my bucket list was to be of service. So I've done a lot of work as a social worker. I worked in prisons and did all kinds of community work, and that was really satisfying. But there was something more that I wanted to do. But Africa is something I just fell into. So in 2012, I was part of an organization. It's called the Center for Inspired Living here in Victoria. And we had decided that we wanted to do an outreach program somewhere. And I think we were looking at more something that was in a third world country. We're quite sure what that was going to look like. So long story short, we decided to help this community here. this is the Nashape School. And we decided to help the Maasai people. The Maasai people have been going through an incredibly difficult time with global warming, and you can see the ground there. See how dry it is? Like, that's everywhere. They didn't have any water at this time. It was pretty bleak. Decided then we're going to build a school. So this is the Center for Inspired Living. There was quite a few of us. I was on the committee from the very get-go. And what turned out in 2013, a group of us said, okay, well, let's go see the school finished. Let's go see what. So we got to Africa, and we were met by Clamian. Oh, this is the school. Let me find Clamian here. This is our friend Clamian. And he is a Maasai elder, and he owns Warrior Trails. And he was our connection. And he is an absolutely amazing man. One of the things he told me that has really moved me, he said, I measure success by how many people I've been able to help. Wow, what if we all felt that way? What a different world we would have. So this is where the story takes a little bit of a turn. Sharon and I had asked to go to an orphanage. And so we had decided we were going to go visit this orphanage. And that's where things changed a little. We went to the orphanage. And then Sharon and I met these two little girls. Sharon met Elisa. Lisa's with Sharon there, and Bhatti is. We've both been in an orphanage for a couple of years. We decided, we did lots of investigation, and we took them out and we put them into a boarding school. So now I just got report, this is the girls. We took them on a little safari, and Bhatti is now in grade 2, and she is #1 in her class. So Sharon and I had felt that we had done what we needed to do at the orphanage. We got them the well, we got the kitchen finished, we got the pipes into the kitchen, we got the sponsorship program started. We said, okay, now that we wanted to really focus more on the Nashape school and the Maasai community, which is called Makuni Village. So we are now called Maasai Friends for Good. And we have joined forces with the Ability Society, which I think they're going to be changing a little bit of their name and branding and that kind of thing. So the Ability Society, what they do is they're a social enterprise. I mean, David knows so much more about them, but they're an amazing organization. And now we have charitable status. We're looking at building classrooms. We're looking at economic development. We're looking at a health center. There's a huge strategic plan that's in place, and that's taken months and months for us to do. And so thank you very much for listening to my story, and thank you very much for coming out today, and I really appreciate being here. Thank you.
But when we as Rotarians meet other people who are not Rotarians doing similar work, it's just that much inspiring. There's many organizations and people out there that do similar work to what we do, and it's always great to thank you. Next on the agenda, I'd like to ask Jillian to come forward to give us an update on our exchange student.
So today is an exciting day because we're saying goodbye to our outbound youth exchange student, Anna Lego.
I will be leaving on Sunday and heading to the small town in northern Italy, about 1 hour outside of Milan, and it's called Casalbaliano. And I will be living in this small community with a host family that has 3 children and a dog, I believe. I will be studying English, French, Italian, Spanish, German, among some other subjects. I just want to thank you all again for your support and of me to go do this. And I really look forward to this upcoming year and to seeing you once again in about a year's time to tell you my story. Thank you.
So today we have Patricia Crosley, who's getting her Paul Harris +2. And I'm so honored to give her her Paul Harris +2. She's done such great work internationally. And Patricia, please come forward. I'd like to ask Maury to come forward. He has a couple of announcements.
We do care about what happens in the world, but we also care about everybody in this club. You get to know them, and it's just a very enjoyable experience. So the Care and Concern Committee is going to be tracking individuals. If you know somebody who has been away for a couple of weeks or has some health problems, please contact myself, Merrick Mattis, or John McKenzie.
Our 50-50 draw. Get your ticket.
If you are a member and you don't have a tie on, you're going to pay $1. Somebody's phone rang. We all heard it.